Stop it.
Welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast with me, Sean, and hosting with me tonight, Mr. T. Reese. We're going to be discussing the last night's Monday Night Raw emanating from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as we inch closer to the Clash in Paris in about 2 weeks now, I believe. I think we have one more Raw remaining, and was definitely a event filled Raw, and we finally heard from Naomi. Got a pretty awesome main event, and we'll work our way from the beginning. We opened, obviously, Philadelphia, home of the Extreme, with the Vision in the ring, and one Paul Heyman talking up his history and everything that he did in that city, talking the famous names and talking up the Vision about how they're the future. Basically, the same thing we've seen for the last several weeks for it. Nothing really new there. But Jey Uso interrupted, and it was nice to see him be the person, I think, interrupt this time rather than LA Knight or CM Punk. Gave it a little bit of a different approach. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree
I think.
100%. Uh,
And go ahead.
no, I was just agreeing with you that it's been, pretty much the same opening every week for the last, 3, 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman opening up, saying what he has to say, start a fight with Jay or CM Punk or who else am I missing in here?
LA Knight.
LA Knight.
Yep.
So yeah, it's the opening's been the same every week. So the opening was. I mean, anytime Paul Heyman's talking, it's entertaining. But
Yeah.
we got to change the pattern a little bit. I think we're due for that.
I think the one good thing that came out of this, though, was the fact that WWE was smart enough to lean into the hardcore aspect of Philadelphia
Mm-hmm.
and have the opening segment turn into the main event of an Extreme Rules match between
Yep.
Jay and Braun. I
Mm-hmm.
personally thought it was hysterical the way that Seth was egging Braun on about how Jay was insulting the Steiner family. That
Yep.
was uh, that was pretty entertaining there. But I think the personal highlight for me was the in the honor of the late great Tommy Dreamer.
Mm. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure Tommy Dreamer was sitting in his living room laughing if he was watching it. So I think he works for TNA, right?
He does something backstage for TNA right now. With the fact that they brought him up, I'm assuming that he and Heyman are back on good terms. I know for a little while there they weren't, but
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm
I
wondering.
mean,
He hinted at some of these names from ECW for some reason. I know they
yeah,
were funny, but I'm just wondering if we're going to get like some sort of cameo for something coming up. Who knows? But yeah, it was fun him mentioning the greats from ECW.
yeah. I mean, we could spend a whole show talking about ECW if we wanted and the insanity of that. But the obviously the big thing that came out of it was the announcement of the main event. Um, so then we from the opening segment we went into a backstage segment of Io Sky and the Kabuki Warriors, where at least they weren't fighting this week like they were last week, and Io asked them to remain backstage for the first match of the night, which was Io Sky versus Raquel Rodriguez. Obviously, Judgment Day interference there from Roxanne Perez. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised that EO picked up the win here. I expected her to lose again.
Uh, no, I wasn't surprised. I have to admit that I didn't expect her to lose to her. Um, it wouldn't make any sense for her to lose to her in that, right now. So I do like the direction that they're kind of going. I'm wondering if what they're going to do is because as we'll admit that obviously Io got jumped into the match and then Mammy comes running in to save her. I
Yep.
wonder if they're trying to line up a faction with the Kabuki Warriors and Mammy.
So let's skip ahead then a little bit because they did go to a backstage segment later on where Rio was talking to EO and the Kabuki Warriors came up and were acting, or Asuka at least was acting nonplussed about the fact that Rhea could come out and help EO, but not them.
Yeah.
And Rhea sort of poked the bear there by saying that since nobody else seemed to be coming out to do it, that's why she went to do it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know part of this kind of feels like it's leading up to maybe Asuka versus Rhea to me.
Yeah.
I mean, with the way they were going back and forth. And honestly, I was talking about it with a guy who I work with, who's one of our followers on here, Ruben. And if that keeps Rhea away from the title picture, I am 100% behind that plan.
I mean, no matter whatever Rhea's involved in, I'm on board for. Um, I do think that you're right that they're going to probably line up something, but I'm just trying to figure out what's the stakes in lining up a match with her and Asuka. Like, what are they going to fight for? You know what I mean? So hopefully they got something. That's why I'm thinking it's leaning more towards Rhea joining with them at some point, because I'm pretty sure you already know there's going to be some sort of a 3-woman or 4-woman tag match coming up with, and they're going to have Rhea team up with the Kabuki Warriors and versus somebody, and I'm assuming Judgment Day, and maybe pair them up with somebody else. I think that's what they're lining up, but we'll wait and see, because they're still involved in the title match, and we don't even know what their plan is with Naomi's title right now.
That's what I was about to say. Obviously, later on in the show, which we'll cover shortly, there was an announcement that's going to impact probably a significant number of women from Raw.
Oh, by the way, thank you to your boy Ruben for joining subscribing to our channel.
For sure. Thank you, Ruben. Definitely appreciate it. And anyone else, if you're watching, make sure to like, follow, give us a subscribe. We want some comments, anything you guys think about, give us your thoughts. We will happily talk about it too. But yeah, so we had that happen. Then we went to another backstage segment where LA Knight was being interviewed, to be interrupted by CM Punk, obviously continuing their little tete-a-tete from the previous week. And Punk being the smart one there and saying, hey, we kind of need to stick together and help Jay out here. And LA Knight kind of being like, screw you, buddy. But I really, obviously Seth is going to retain come Paris. And are we going to see a heel turn from LA Knight?
No,
because
he's getting his push. So it doesn't make any sense for him to be a heel right now. I mean, I got my understanding TKO is in love with him. He's got a great fan base too. I don't expect him to turn heel. I expect him to stay on this road. Again, WWE's been the era of factions and tag teams, and I think that's what they're probably lining up for CM Punk too. He's gonna to fight. Maybe they even put a title belt on them two together. Who knows?
They've done crazier, but
yeah.
You call me crazy on this, but hear me out for a second. We've talked a while about a fourth man, and lately they've been talking about Seth and his plan B. So I have a feeling that we're going to see something about that in Paris. You're going to think I'm nuts with this. What if it's LA Knight? What if they threw a swerve at us and LA Knight joins Rollins?
I mean, anything's possible with WWE, so I'm not going to say it can't happen, but I just don't understand why. Why would it be him? I thought we were going to bring. I think it's going to be. I still think it's going to be somebody from NXT.
I personally think so as well. I think it'll be either Ethan Page or Ricky Saints, but that idea kind of just got there in my head, and I just wanted to put it out there and get your thoughts.
Oh no, like I said, wouldn't shock me. I mean, WWE does weirder things than that before. I just don't understand why, with his popularity, you would team him up with Seth. I mean, he's making merch sales on his own accord, so he doesn't really need anyone to team up with.
Yeah, true. And I mean, we might not even see the fourth person yet anyway. I mean, a fatal four-way is plenty of room for there to be outside interference regardless from Braun and Bronson. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we might not even need to see the fourth man yet.
Well, I mean, if they're going to be a fourth man, he's going to be the person that saves the match.
Yeah.
So it's still possible. It's still on the table.
And like I said, they've been name dropping the plan B a lot lately, which is something he used to say back when he had the Money at the Bank briefcase originally. Yep. So I really feel like something is definitely coming as far as that goes.
Yeah,
but So getting away from that though, since obviously we're going to do once Mike is back, we'll do our Paris predictions. But and hopefully either you or I can overtake him here. Can't have him keeping the lead.
No, I
But
plan on it. But we got to make him pick first because he's playing off of us. He picks
I
first.
really yes, I think that's what it is. I think he's taking advantage of the fact that you or I normally choose first.
Yep.
So
So
next time he picks first.
that's right, Mike. If you're listening, because you're going to be watching, you're picking first every match.
Yep, we're calling you out. You no longer have the advantage.
Matter of fact, we'll make that a rule. Whoever the leader is, we'll pick first for every match, every pay per view that we pick the matches on.
I do like that rule. It gives a less of an advantage to the person who's in the lead.
That's
Because
right.
I know both you and I have changed our opinions on things because of ideas people have come up with.
Yes.
But going back to Monday Night Raw, match number 2 on the night was your boy, Mr. Zero Miedo, versus Penta against Xavier Woods with Kofi Kingston and Grayson Waller accompanying, continuing this goofy story of him ruining Xavier's hat and there having to be a match because of it. And the match itself, honestly, I think Xavier Woods is incredibly underrated in the ring. And I think this match was probably, as far as actual matches go, the match of the night. I think it was fantastic. And the back and forth between the two of them, Xavier doing his Ric Flair walk.
Mm-hmm.
The I loved that when Penta used Xavier to jump the rope and
Yeah.
take out the other two outside. And part of me hopes that this storyline isn't over. Like I don't know if you agree with that, but obviously Penta picked up the win, and with the Mexican driver on on Xavier. But I'm hoping that this keeps going.
Well, I think I already see if you ask me to guess what the plan is,
Go ahead.
it's to team him up with his brother and Andrade.
I
That's
believe we talked.
this is
I
what's
believe we talked about that last week, you and I,
yeah, 'cause
where
we're doing much right now. I mean, they had the tag title match, the TLC match, but I just don't. I expect that they're going to make them a trio. This is why I'm thinking that they're going to bring a trio belt. I'm sorry, they're doing too many teams. They're doing too many factions right now.
it would be perfect for them to do it right now. You have so many groups that can run 3 people. I mean,
Yep.
hell, even Seth's group can run 3 people.
Yeah. Well, they already got three, so I mean, if they wanted to, they could run for it.
Yeah.
But
Um,
I'm thinking that his brother and Andrade are going to be his partners. They're going to be brought over to Raw, and I expect them to be a faction, and I expect him and his brother to win the tag belts.
I think even if it's not Penta and Phoenix teaming alone originally, even if they just bring it over and then have Phoenix and Andrade join the official tag division on Raw, I think that would be a huge asset for Raw. Raw's tag team division right now is far below the state of SmackDown's. And I think bringing athletes of the caliber of those two luchadors over to Raw would be incredibly smart of them to do.
Can you imagine the matches with them two together against people?
Against like the Judgment Day.
Yeah, I love I love it. I love it. I mean, you do that
Yeah,
match is going to be. I can see it, them two where to go up against each other for the belts. It could very well be in contention for one of the matches of the year.
oh, for sure. And I mean, hell, even a match against the New Day that I don't get very excited for matches against the New Day anymore, but I think that would be a match to look forward to.
Well, see, that's what this is lining up for. But I will say this: it was a really good match. You're absolutely right that Xavier Woods is underrated. A lot of that has to do with the fact of the whole thing of the New Day, them goofy and just doing weird stuff. But you kind of lose the sight that him and Kofi are really good wrestlers.
Yep.
And Xavier just never had the opportunity as a singles competitor to really show what he can do his entire career in the WWE. I thought that match really elevated it a little bit, but I did think the match was too long.
Yeah.
I think the match was probably about 5 minutes too long because I was expecting it to okay, this is going to end sooner or later, but it was longer than I expected. But I thought it was too long. But it was a great match. It was a good match.
You're right. It was a little bit too long, but it wasn't one that like I wanted to just be over. You know what I mean? Like how there's some of those matches where it's just like, can we just get this done with?
Yep.
This, at least, even though it was a little bit extended, I was okay with it.
Yeah.
And I, as much as I hate saying it because of how great the New Day are historically as a tag team, they really need to be done. Like, especially considering the fact that the stuff with Big E will probably never materialize as much as I would love for it to happen. I think that Xavier Woods deserves the opportunity to be a single star before his career is.
No, I agree. He should be a single stars, but he still has to have Kofi in his corner.
Yeah,
It's not because they've been together for so long now that I just think it's going to be weird to have him in the ring without. They play off each other, and that's what
they
makes
do.
them great is the way they are with their chemistry together, and they're good friends outside the ring. So I guess let him be a singles wrestler, occasionally. But I do think that Kofi should still be in his corner, though, at least.
So you don't think that like if they did a draft and moved one of them to the other show that it would work?
No, I just don't. I don't because their whole stick is them two together. Minus Big E. When Big E's together, then obviously he has to be part of that. It was hard for me to watch Big E even being a singles guy after his
Yeah.
New Day stint. So it was kind of like, okay, this is kind of weird because remember they had him on one brand, New Day was on the other brand, but they were still like crossing paths every so often and stuff. I'm like, okay, just put them together. You can still make Big E, a champion if you want to, and you can keep the New Day in his corner if you want to.
I think the problem with that is I don't think that having a face faction like that really works as well. Like now, if they were all heels, like with Seth and the Vision, I think a faction like that would work 1,000 times better
Mm-hmm.
because then you can have that faction coming out and helping him and doing stuff. Faces, I don't think work as good as a group like that. Like it's the same with like the Judgment Day. If the Judgment Day were faces, they wouldn't work half as well as they do.
No, I agree, but I mean that's
But
why
you're right.
you could let Xavier. He could still be a heel as a singles competitor. Um, that's why I kind of wait. If you're going to make them heels, then don't let them be. I mean, let them be tag teams for a little while. What they did. We obviously know there wasn't no plan really for them when they won the belts. But I do think that they can still be singles. Even Kofi. Kofi is a great singles wrestler. He's shown it time and time again in his entire career. But
Yeah,
I just think that they're better. They're at their best when they're together.
yeah. And I mean, it's been what, 12, 13 years of them together.
Yep.
Like, when's the last time we've seen a team that's been, other than like Degeneration X,
Well,
that's lasted that long?
people forget that New Day was a heel when they got together to begin with.
Yeah, for what, like 2 months?
Yeah, it was like a short stint, but they were heels when they were first introduced.
I still remember their first match and the fact that they tried to pull the switcheroo with Xavier and Kofi in the
Yeah,
ring. How ridiculous! How the fact that they thought that that was something they could pull off.
that,
It
that,
was.
listen, that's a Vince thing, and
Yep.
that joke was all black people look the same.
Yep. You could tell that was a Vince thing, and the fact that Vince was so out of touch with reality.
Yeah,
But so definitely, I really hope this story continues. But getting back to the show from last night, a quick point that they advertised before the next match: Raw is officially in England next week, so anybody who plans on watching it live, it will be at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure that you have your alarms set for early in the day if you plan on watching Raw live.
yep.
But that led us into match number 3, which was a title match. We actually got 2 different title matches tonight, which was kind of surprising. The first one was the tag team title match. We had the Judgment Day of Finn Balor and the giant four-headed JD McDonough, accompanied to the ring by the king of the luchadors, Dominic Mysterio, your future AAA champion, mind you, against Dragon Lee and making his Raw debut, Mr. Iguana.
Yeah,
I loved it. I didn't love the match particularly, But I loved that they had Mr. Iguana on Raw. I think that was absolutely hysterical. And it is such an opportunity for WWE and TKO to do what they love best and make money with that stupid iguana puppet.
Well,
But I think my big question out of this, and my question for you, is who did Dragon Lee piss off to have not won a match in like 3 years?
yep, I was just about to bring that up. Let's have a moment of silence for Dragon Lee. That's how much of his career. That time we just sat there is how his career is gone. I mean he's great in the ring too. They just haven't done nothing with him.
What
No,
happened with him?
I,
Like,
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, because like you said before, we spoke on this. They've introduced him as being the next Rey Mysterio, and you bring him in to do nothing, like they do with every other Mexican wrestler. They just bring them in to do nothing, and they're just there to get Mexican viewers. I hate that they do that because these are great wrestlers, and they should have their moment to shine. But for some reason, WWE just, whether it's Vince now Triple H, they just don't like to push Mexican wrestlers. They just don't.
I mean, I guess the one positive is that it's no longer the Mexicools and riding to the ring on a lawnmower.
Yeah.
But I really don't get it with Dragon Lee. The guy was an international superstar with AAA. He was pushed huge in NXT. I mean, he was the North American champion. He had fantastic matches with Obafemi, with Dominic Mysterio. They brought him up, immediately put him with Ray, which he speaks relatively good English. Like, it's not like he can't communicate like some of these guys. He is amazing in the ring, but they're treating him like he's a member of Lucha House Party, for God's sakes. Like,
Well, well, gone are the days of. I mean, how do I word this? What was his name? The Indian guy.
Great Khali,
No, the other one.
Jinder Mahal.
Yes.
You
Don't
know
forget,
Jinder the Jinder?
remember when Jinder Mahal became champions when they started doing the India shows.
Yeah, when he beat Randy like a week before the India show.
Right. So gone are the days that they push people based off of their countries. And Mexico has been put on the back burner for a long time in WWE. It has not mattered. Rey Mysterio is the only one that has actually cracked that shell. Outside of Rey, prior to that was Eddie. But Rey, it ended with Rey. It just ended with Rey. They don't do anything. I mean, you count Dominic, you could throw him in there, but is he really being pushed? Like, I mean, he's involved in the story. He's kind of being pushed, but I mean, there's never been like a focus on him to be like this, this champion. And with the rest of them, they're just there as, I don't know, entertainment. It seems like to me, like they're just the court jesters, and they're just there to eat up time during the show so they can move on to other things. I think it's a shame. I mean, I don't know why you take the AAA wrestling over and
That's
nothing with Mexican wrestlers and on your main roster.
that's what I was about to say though, is that with WWE and TKO purchasing AAA, they don't really need to cater like they did with Jinder Mahal. Now they have an actual promotion that is automatically caters to it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they already announced we're getting another Worlds Collide already in September.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, based on the way this match ended, I think Dominic Mysterio is going to win the title at Worlds Collide.
I can see it.
I mean, obviously, the way this match ended, Vikingo came out when Judgment Day was beating everyone down. And honestly, he really didn't get a reaction. And if you watched the AAA show, I don't know if you caught the highlights of it.
Oh, I watched.
Dom was so over with that crowd, especially versus Vikingo. And so was El Grande. When you have a non-Mexican and Dominic Mysterio getting better reactions than your current champion, something's wrong. Like,
I, I don't know. I mean, I'll push back on that. I mean, don't forget now, it's kind of sort of like those fans of those shows have seen all those guys that are on their roster. And whether you introduce someone from the main roster of the number one wrestling promotion in the entire world to show up to one of their shows, I don't care if they're a heel or a face, they're going to get a push regardless. It doesn't matter. They're going to get a pop. It's guaranteed. I mean, even Otis got a pop. Almost got a pop.
It's almost, of course.
And he had one of the most viral moments of the year of him being in the ring with, what was that, Mini Man or whatever his name is?
Micro Man.
Oh, your mic's going out.
Micro Man.
Micro Man? Yeah, I can barely hear you.
Is that better?
No.
How about now?
No, is there a volume button on there or something?
How about now?
It's the same.
Hold on.
There you go.
Better?
Yep.
Okay. Somebody just tried calling me, and it, of course, messed with my volume.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no. So obviously that was a hugely viral moment, him with Micro Man. But I get it. I get where you're coming from. When you have somebody who is a known quantity coming from a huge promotion, they're going to get a huge pop. And I guess on top of it, Dom technically is a Mysterio. So that's going to probably get him a pop too. So I guess I will temper my expectations on what I thought based on what you just said there. You made me think about it a little bit harder.
But I will say though, I mean, Vikingo, I did get the impression that the Mexican audience, they don't really care for him. Like,
no,
you don't really get that feeling like, when Roman Reigns, like he's supposed to be like their Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, he's supposed to be that guy. And he doesn't get that pop like you expect him to get. And he's not going to get it on the WWE main roster. Nobody knows who he is. We only know him from what WWE tells us. But I will say again, like I said, anybody from the main roster that goes to any other promotion is going to get a pop regardless. Because here's an outsider coming to these smaller promotions. You're automatically going to be, your name's going to be up in lights no matter what.
That's why when Vikingo showed up on AEW to face Kenny Omega back before WWE acquired them, he got a reaction there because the fans on that side are more of the indie fans, so they knew who he was.
Yeah, they're hardcore. They know about all those wrestlers and whatnot. But if you watch WWE, most people that watch WWE don't really pay attention to too many other promotions.
No.
You wouldn't know who he is, and they haven't really done anything in WWE to even put him over with anybody either.
No, they really. He's shown up twice, once in the crowd, and then now this time,
three times.
Yeah, not a whole lot, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
Yeah, but getting back to Dragon Lee, my only thing with him is how does it feel that when he came to the ring out to the ring, there was no pop. Then Mr. Iguana comes trotting out, and all of a sudden the entire place erupts.
Oh yeah,
he's got to be thinking like, "What am I doing wrong?" And I don't know. It's not so much him; it's just booking.
Yeah, when you're booked to lose every match that you're in, even if it's by disqualification, like I said, when's the last time the guys won a match? Like 2 years ago? I mean, it feels like the last time he won a match was when he was in NXT.
Yeah.
But and you, like I said, you hate to see it because the guy is a fantastic wrestler. Mm-hmm. I wish that they could figure out a way to actually utilize him correctly. Same with the rest of the LWO. Like they're all the whatchamacallits, the other two guys, the tag team, are real good too. Like I can't think of their name right now though.
What tag team?
From the LWO.
Oh, yeah.
Joaquin Wild and the other guy. But
no. I'll be honest with you. When I watched that match at AAA, and those boys are great. They're in the ring. They just don't. Again, Mexican wrestlers just don't push them. They just don't. And plus, I think a lot of it has to do with their size. A lot of them are very small compared to the other guys on the roster, so that doesn't probably help. So I mean, you can only push so many of them. I mean, AEW is full of smaller guys,
Yeah.
and WWE is more about the spectacle. So you need to have someone out there who they consider an attraction. And I just don't think there's enough. Like Penta, the look, the music, the style. I mean, he doesn't even speak great English, but nobody cares because his charisma and his character is what people enjoy watching. And that's the problem that you have with Dragon Lee and the other guys. And don't forget, Penta's much bigger than Dragon Lee too. So him and his brother looked like they could be in the ring with WWE superstars. Dragon Lee and all those guys, they're smaller guys. I know that WWE's always, and this has been a Vince thing, and it looks like it's poured over to Triple H a little bit. I mean, they do have some more smaller guys on the roster than they've ever had. But they don't all get pushes like the bigger guys.
This is probably the smallest the roster's been in a long time.
Your phone went out again. You should probably just put on Don't Disturb.
I do, which I don't understand why it's.
Am I good now?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know why it is on Do Not Disturb, so I don't know why it's coming through. But no, I think this is the smallest that the roster has been in a long time, just as far as like the size of the wrestlers. And I think the thing with Penta, though, not just that he's a little bit bigger, he's marketable. I mean,
Yep.
right off the bat, he comes in. You could sell his mask. You could sell
Yep.
all his stuff. And same with Phoenix. I mean, you put a Dragon Lee mask out there, and who the hell's going to know what mask that is? You know what I mean?
Nobody will know. Nobody will know.
Exactly. But I'm curious to see what they do if Mr. Iguana is going to be featured more, if that's or this is going to be just a one-off thing.
It's an attraction. You know how it goes, dude. It's an attraction. This guy's never going to see a belt.
Never.
He's going to be brought. He's going to brought in for levity, just to wholesome wrestler who does weird, crazy stuff in the ring for kids. He's the boogeyman of today right now.
He's the Santino.
Yeah, the Santino too.
I am perfectly okay with one. There really aren't any wrestlers nowadays that are like that. So there needs to be at least one to fill that role. So I am perfectly okay with that.
Yep.
But we went off on enough of a tangent there about our luchadors in WWE. So back to the main show. There was another vignette for Bayley, and that's one that I'm curious for your thoughts on, because I really like these vignettes that they're doing for her, and this one especially I thought was really well done, with the arguing with herself kind of thing going on, and the way it ended with the "Do you want a hug?" and like the craziness there. I am really curious to see where they're going to go with her.
That's what I'm wondering too. And with the voices in her head, what are they lining up for her? I mean, is it going to be another change for Bayley? Is she going to be a different character? Is she going to change her persona again? Is she going to join another faction? I don't know. But you're right. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with her now, because they haven't really given away too much. Just these vignettes have been very interesting.
I want them to turn her into a crazed version of her original hugger personality.
I couldn't stand the hugger personality.
Neither could I, but I think a crazy version of it would be hysterical.
No, I never want to see it again. Never want to see it again. She's moved past that. That's NXT, early WWE. She's moved well past that now. She could definitely do for another persona change though. She's still trying to ride the what was her faction called again?
Damage Control.
Yeah, she's still dressing like she's part of Damage Control and stuff like that. So I expect some sort of change to come, whether it's be a face or a heel, who knows? She could be just in between face and heel at this point. So we'll see what happens. But I'm very interested in the Bayley thing.
If they do some sort of crazy back and forth where she keeps going back and forth between face and heel, I think that would be kind of cool too.
That would be great. That would be great.
Like a multiple personality.
Well, what they do with Randy.
Yeah, the voices in his head. You're right. That's actually a good point.
And if you can just put her in that Randy spot where, like, at any given moment, she can just take somebody out whenever she feels like it. I would love it. I would love it. I would love to have a female Randy Orton.
Yeah, that would actually be incredibly awesome. But following that vignette, we had our fourth match of the night, which was our second title match of the night, the Women's Intercontinental title. Becky Lynch defending against Natalya after Becky had her match last week against Maxine Dupree. And Natalya's another one. Like, I don't understand, for the amount of time that Natalya's been with the company, the fact that she's always willing to do whatever they ask of her. And lately, she's been traveling outside of WWE and looking damn impressive. Why do they basically bury her?
I mean, it's a good question. I mean, the only thing with her is, who's clamoring for her to have a title? I mean, primarily she's used backstage as helping the other women out in their matches and their technique. And I do think she gets involved in some storyline or in creative sometimes, I think. But I mean, I don't think anyone's clamoring for her to have a belt. I don't think she really needs one. The women respect her, and she's an integral part backstage with wrestling. She doesn't really need it, in my opinion. Her career has been, she's done enough.
No, but it would be nice to see her get a win every so often.
Yeah, I get it, but I mean, I don't think anyone's really clamoring for Natalya to get wins and titles and stuff like that. I think her time is, it's been long gone. I mean, it's been over for her to be like put on, in a main event or anything like that. I got no problem with what they're doing with Natalya. Every so often she comes in, she helps fill in for some of these younger women because they team her up with the younger women when they're kind of struggling, trying to figure things out. They put them with Natalya, and I think that's where her career is going to be until she's done, doesn't want to do it no more.
I mean, I think pairing Maxine Dupree with her is real good for Dupree.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the story of this match wasn't so much Becky retaining. It was her beating down Natalya and Maxine afterwards, only for women's greatest wrestler of the modern age to come out and make the save, one Nikki Bella, and lay Becky out with a Rack Attack version 2.
Yeah.
I know you have some opinions on Nikki.
Well, I could care less. She does nothing for me. I don't know what they're doing with her still. I think this is just the last hurrah for her. Hopefully it's over soon.
I feel like we're going to see a women's IC title match in Paris between Nikki and Becky. And I don't know if this is just another notch to put on Becky's belt while they figure out whatever they're doing with Bayley or whoever's going to take the belt off of Becky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, more than likely. I mean, I think they are trying to aim to get her a belt one last time. I don't know what belt that will be. But again, I just think it's I just think it's a waste of time to even have her involved in this stuff. I don't even know why they brought her back.
I feel like it's taking away from your talent that's actually on the roster.
Well, that's what they don't care about. I mean, I think they more care about the Bella name than they do about the other talent.
I think the problem is that they brought her back to have that match with Liv at Evolution, only for Liv to get hurt, and now they didn't know what to do with her.
Yeah, they're kind of. I think this could be the reason why she's there. I mean, that's a good point. That maybe she's still on the roster just because they're waiting for Liv to come back so they can cross paths again.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. So following
that storyline's not finished.
No, once Liv gets back, I imagine they'll circle back to it and finish it out. Hopefully, I mean Triple H has been pretty good with closing out stories and not leaving just dead stories. But we got
he also has a habit of making us just forget there was a storyline to begin with.
Yeah, true. That is also a valid point. So I guess we'll see where it goes. I guess it depends on how much longer Liv is out for.
Mm-hmm.
But so following that, we got a couple backstage segments of Sheamus being interviewed, only to be confronted by Rusev for our weekly Sheamus and Rusev face-off, only for Adam Pearce to break them up. Looked like he was going to have a coronary and tell them that in Paris they get one more shot in an old-fashioned Donnybrook. which I'm guessing is Irish for Extreme Rules. Hey, if this ends this feud, I'm okay with it. Honestly, I personally thought it was going to be like a last man standing or something match. I felt like this feud was perfect for a last man standing match, but I know you're kind of tired of it. I'm not going to lie, I am too. Let's get Rusev onto something that actually matters. As
Yep.
much as I like Sheamus, he really is kind of inconsequential nowadays.
Well, I think Sheamus is in the same spot as Natalia. I think his days are behind him. I think he's just helping bring along other wrestlers right now. I don't know. Again, I mean, I don't know what the whole point of the Rusev Sheamus stuff is. Again, I don't know why they're rehashing and having multiple matches over and over again. No one's asking for these matches. If you can't figure out what to do to Rusev, put him on the shelf till you can figure it out, because it's almost like it's just boring to me. I'm be honest with you. The match when they wrestle, it's boring. I don't care for it. None of it's the same match over and over again, over and over and over again. So to me, I can care less. They can just end this and pretend it didn't happen, if you ask me.
Yeah, it. If you've seen one Rusev versus Sheamus match, you've seen all of them.
That's it.
Regardless of the stipulation.
Yep.
It's two meaty men slapping meat, in the words of Vince McMahon.
That's it. That's it.
So obviously we got that announcement for Paris. Then we had another backstage segment of CM Punk finding Jey in the locker room, basically telling him he had his back for the main event. Honestly, nothing really of note there. The bigger thing was the next in-ring segment. Naomi coming out to discuss the state of the Raw women's division after her not being medically cleared last week. And I'll let you talk about this, T.
Well, I mean, she finally announced that she's pregnant. It's what all the rumors were saying was the situation. I guess she announced it on the Stephanie's podcast that she's pregnant.
Yep.
So, congratulations to her and Big J or Big Jimmy. Terrible timing.
Yep.
Terrible timing, because by the time she comes back, there's going to be other women filling in those spots now. I mean, she'll probably get the initial pop when she comes back, but the work she's done up to this point, it's a shame because it's going to be unfinished work. And I think it's going to be tough to recapture that when she returns. But let's see what happens. I could be wrong.
Obviously, congratulations to Big Jim and Naomi and the newest member of the bloodline that's going to be coming. Mm-hmm. I think this opens up some interesting things for the women's division on Raw, though. Mm-hmm. And this is more so what I want your opinion on. Obviously, Stephanie Vacour was set to be the number one contender in Paris. Stephanie Vacour, who we also haven't seen basically for like 2 weeks now. What do they do going into Paris with this title?
That's a good question. I mean,
wrong.
Yeah. Well, the only women that you have that's free right now that can. Okay, they're going to probably do the typical WWE thing where they have like a tournament or something where, these women enter, they're going to wrestle each other, and somebody's going to be competing for the championship at the end of it. That's what I think.
They have 1 week.
Huh?
They have 1 week.
Well, I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to probably line up some sort of matches. I think they're going to be quick matches. I don't think it's going to be some big, huge tournament. I think it's going to be a one-night thing where they're going to have, or one show where they're going to have multiple women. You're going to have Vacour. You're going to have Rhea. You probably have Io. And they're just going to wrestle each other on that show. There'll be probably like 3 matches.
So I don't think it's
matches.
I don't think it's fair to Vacour as the number one contender after having won that battle royale to lose her number one contendership. I don't think she should have to compete in multiple matches for it. What I think personally they should do is have like a gauntlet match or something to determine who's going to face Vacour and in Paris.
Yeah.
And just find a number one contender to the number one contender.
No, yeah, I'm fine with that too. Just another way you can go. Perfect.
I don't think it's, like I said, I don't think it's fair to Vacour, who already had that guaranteed match at Paris, to basically lose that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've said it before, though. I just think they're moving her too fast, like they're moving to some of the other women. But I mean, if that's what the WWE wants to do, then so be it. Let her be let her be the number one contender and do a little mini tournament for who competes, fights her in the for the belt.
So here's something. Because I agree with you that they're going too fast. We all know how much Mike loves Stephanie McCurr, but I'm a huge fan of her as well. But I do think that I would be fine with her not winning in Paris.
Yeah, me too.
And I think that this gives WWE an opportunity to actually put somebody up against her in Paris that we could see her losing to. Like, as much as I would hate for it to be like Rhea Ripley, have Rhea Ripley, her match against Raquel Rodriguez, be a number one contender match on Monday, and have Rhea go into Paris and beat her, and then Stephanie win it later on down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I got no complaints with that. I agree.
But yeah, so that'll definitely be interesting going into Paris. We got one final backstage segment before the main event, which was the Judgment Day all exiting the arena and coming across the King of the Luchadors, Dom, talking to, I believe it was El Grande number 2. And did you catch afterwards how angry Finn looked?
No, that part I did not catch.
Yeah, no, when they walked, like when everybody else walked away, Finn kind of stood there for a minute, and I think they might finally be getting back to the let's uh let's start breaking Finn off from the Judgment Day storyline.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sorry about my camera, but it just some reason just went out on me. Um, yeah, that's why I'm thinking that the Judgment Day thing is about to break up soon. It's not. I think that they're going to go ahead and maybe not after. Well, it'll be after Paris. I think what's coming up, Survivor Series.
There's talk that there's going to be a special show in September. I don't remember what it was called, but they just trademarked the name. So there's going to be something in September.
Yeah, so I would expect around then is when they're going to probably change it all. I think that's when you're going to probably see them break up the Judgment Day, and you're going to probably see Finn. Well, yeah, it's you probably off. Well, you probably see Finn. Roxanne's going to probably go with him
And JD.
and JD, and there's going to be like this thing with yeah, I can agree with that. I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to break off, and then Dom's going to have his crew with the Americano probably with him or something like that. Or I don't know, kind of like an offshoot, collaboration between him and the Americanos. I could see all that. Yep.
Would make for an interesting story.
Yeah.
So finally, after all that, we did get to the main event of the night, which was the previously announced Extreme Rules match between main event Jey Uso and the unpredictable badass Bron Breakker. I believe they said this was the first Extreme Rules on a Monday Night Raw in something like 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And I really liked and was surprised seeing Jay come out kind of looking like New Jack.
It was a great look. Great look.
And I mean, with New Jack's history, you and I were talking about it before this. I'm kind of surprised that they referenced that, but it was still kind of nice to see with all the history there in Philadelphia.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's well, I mean, but they alluded to it. They alluded to it with Paul Heyman earlier in the show. So no, I had no problem with them doing that. None.
Lost your sound.
Oh, is it? Hello?
You're real distant. But yeah, no, it was quite the match. You back?
Falling off right now. This is weird.
You sound real far away.
Yeah, I know.
But no, the match itself for an Extreme Rules match was everything I wanted it to be. Weapons, violence. It was real good. And obviously, we got all of the interference that we expected. LA Knight, Seth, Bronson Reed, Punk. And I think even bigger than any of that was the return of the tribal chief.
Yes, Roman was back. I need them to move this storyline along a little bit. It's just been kind of like watch and repeat with how these matches been ending. 1 week it's Roman getting jumped, next week it's Roman getting them back. I do think they need to get something going here because I do think the Seth thing is getting a little stale. Like we said, it's been this cookie cutter every week. It's the same repeat. Heyman opens up, Seth shows up into the show.
Yeah.
I do think they need to change something. They got to get something moving on this storyline.
I agree. I think they need to start moving it from Seth versus everybody to Seth versus just one person at a time.
Yep.
I think that them focusing on everybody at once is kind of bogging it down. And I'm not going to lie. I think the fact that it looks like we're going to get Reigns versus Bronson Reed in Paris is, I like the idea of that he's in that and not in like the main event. Because obviously at some point we're going to get Seth versus Roman anyway.
Yeah.
And let that story play itself out. Let Roman go through Bronson Reed and then through Bron Breakker to get to Seth.
Yeah, I agree.
Obviously the return of Reigns came back with him spearing Bron Breakker, Superman punching Bronson Reed, and that led to Jey winning. So we got Jey and Roman standing tall. So for the first time in a while, we actually had the night end with the faces standing tall. So that was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I agree.
Overall, your thoughts on the show?
I thought it was an okay show. It was better than SmackDown was. Like I said, there's a few things. Like I said, the Roman Reigns match needs to be sped up a little more. I mean, not the match, but the storyline. Give us something else to chew on, because now it's just kind of like, okay, all right, where are we going with this? Are we going to get somewhere with this? I haven't even had Roman even spoke a word yet since he's returned, has he?
No, other than yelling at Bronson, I don't think so.
Yeah, so I don't think I think they need to get Roman on the mic, so we got to get this going.
I can agree. I think overall the show was pretty good. I mean, for only 5 matches, and it was pretty fast paced, which I liked. But I do think that we need to get to this Paris show so we can start moving some of these storylines forward a little bit faster.
Yep.
What would you rate this show?
I'd give it a 3. Probably, it was my honest opinion, would be a 3.
Okay. Yeah, I think I can agree with you on that. And I think that the combination of backstage segments and in-ring work was above average and, like you said, way better than SmackDown. So hopefully we'll see what happens Friday with Cena back. Maybe we'll get a better SmackDown.
Yeah.
But before we close out, I want to get one more thought from you. Have you been following the talk about Karrion Kross this last week?
No.
Do you think that he is still re-signed, or do you think he's actually done?
I have no idea. I have no opinion on it because I have no idea what's going on with that. It's very weird. I don't know what would be the point of that match versus Sami Zayn, and then you end up doing all this. I don't. And then now it's going to get to the point where, like, does anyone believe anything from the WWE when people get released now?
Right. When you get a chance, you should check out the stuff because I think that it would make for an interesting discussion with you and I both being the Kross fans that we are.
Yeah, I seen that he did like a little video talking about WWE and stuff like that. So I guess we'll see. I don't know. I have no opinion on it because I have no idea what's going on right now.
I know that he did an interview with Ariel Helwani that I want to go and watch, but I kind of am interested to see if this ends up being a work. But like you said, if it does end up being a work, what does that do for going forward and trying to believe anything coming out of WWE?
Right.
But on that note, this was our review of last night's Monday Night Raw. We want to thank everybody for tuning in to this episode of the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast. And as always, make sure that you comment your thoughts, give us your thoughts on what went down, or anything else you want to talk about, especially with football season coming up. You want to talk football, we're down to talk football. Give us some likes, and as always, from myself and T, thank you, and have a good night.
Cero mero.